Or you did the music.
Oh, we did it. We're doing it. I have no idea how this is going to go. That's how we fix the music problem. We just unplug the machine at the exact right moment when we don't want music anymore.
Unplug the jukebox.
If there's music playing, there better not be any music playing. I need everyone online to let us know. He's Tim Strachan.
I am. I'm here. I don't know what I'm here to talk about, but I'm here.
I know what you don't want to talk about.
I was supposed to be here tonight.
He's Kevin
Ricka. To see
you
guys here.
Yeah, it's always great to see you guys and everybody else. Yeah, it is. It's great to see you guys.
We got a thumbs up. I'm guessing because we got the music.
I got a
turned
notification
off.
I was supposed to be here.
It was a notification. I'm Ken Marangolo. This is Thank God It's Tuesday. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'd like to welcome you to the year 1 AD. And it is rocky start kind of a year. How about this? Scotty A, EO, Greg, manner of understanding. I'm sure he was a manner of understanding at some point. We need you to understand tonight. Good evening and welcome to the show. Listen, we're not firing anybody, all right? The sky's not falling. We're 2-3. Like, can we just act like we've been here? Because for God's sake, we've been here. And I think it looks a little bit different than in past iterations. But hey, 2-3 is 2-3. Off like 3 losses, let's all just take a deep breath.
Can we just fire Rhett just to make us feel a little bit better about firing somebody?
I don't know. I think he pays us.
I'm just going to fire
I don't know. I don't know.
Rhett, you're fired.
He's asleep. He's fine.
He's just taking a nap. It's not.
I feel better though.
I mean, like,
I wanted to say it.
I feel so dirty.
It was a bad football weekend.
How is that? How is that different this fine day than the other day?
Dirtier than most weeks.
Okay. How about this?
Thursday night was it was grimy. It was on me. It was on you. It was like flying out of Vegas after staying one night too many.
I'm glad I didn't.
Let's
come
just
to
do
the
this
bar,
real
by the
fast.
way.
Here's the worst part of it. I'm going to throw the worst stat up. We're going to just get through.
Oh, we're just going to go right.
Yeah, we're going to get through it. We're getting
stuff?
through it. This to me, when you look at this, it tells a tale. I'm not going to lie. And when you combine it with this,
I just threw up in my mouth.
When you combine it with 178 total yards rushing on their end, 5.6. I mean, listen, there's a lot of other numbers on here that we can and should and will talk about. But when your quarterback's your leading rusher and you give up 178 at 5.6 a clip, it's not going to go your way.
It's on a Thursday night in prime time against the Bears with an 0-14
Against an 0-14
losing streak. I mean, how many times are we expected to show up at FedEx and have Mark Mosley strap on the old kicking shoe and toe kick you directly in the hog? I mean, how many times can we do it?
So, how about this?
How many people would take that option as opposed
I've
to
taken
watching
the option.
what you saw?
I've gotten that kick.
Have you seen this guy's hog? Jesus.
I've gotten the toe to the groin.
No, I have not, for the record.
I believe I called it a uppercut to the chiclets on Hogs Haven, but we do need a good blood redding, as Greg Martin says. So here's what happened, and I consider myself a fan. I consider us all fans. I showed up. I was there on time. In fact, I was there at 1:30 with Rhett and a bunch of other people.
Stories about what happened.
The beginning part of the day was as good as the beginning part of the last 20 years of games when we haven't yet taken the field and everybody is super happy. I got there at 1:30. The kegs were flowing. People were
What was your
happy.
Beirut record?
I had a winning record. I appreciate you asking. The tailgate was great. The food we had a deep dish pizza and hot beef sandwiches, Chicago hot beef sandwiches. Excellent food in the parking lot.
We took hot beef sandwiches all evening, sir.
I didn't plan to keep eating them after I got
you
there.
can't just say hot beef sandwich.
But the positive bright spot. I'm not going to spend whatever they're charging for beers inside the stadium. I get my fill in the parking lot. I take it easy inside. But I was like a little hungry, so I roll out and I go we were in the club level because my buddy bought seats. I mean, we got him like whatever. I guess it wasn't a high profile game. They said it was a sellout, but if we got these seats for less than $100, they were hurting to sell seats. So I walk out in the concourse, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to stand in line. It's like the end of the second quarter for food, and they have this section. Now, I was in the club section for like 12 years. And I wasn't a guy who spent a lot of money at FedEx. I spent all my money on the tickets. So it was a gold section, and it had ropes, and you had to walk past people like theater ticket takers. And I'm just like wandering through. I'm just walking. I end up in front of a wall of food. This is the first time this has ever happened to me at FedEx. Anything you want from the entire concession stand menu, just for the taking. And it was like, please limit yourself to 4 items from the hot dog, nachos, chicken tenders bar. Then they had cookies, sodas, everything. And I'm like, I'm just grabbing everything that's not nailed down. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how I got in here because I'm definitely not a gold member. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of here with all this stuff. But I just started walking out and go back to my seat.
You may be incriminating yourself right now, by the way.
I just walked in and they were like, take some food. So I started taking food. I get back to my seat, like, Rhett and someone else. They like waited in line to get like a piece of pizza. Like, are you? And I was like, here, have this hot dog. Or I got 2 cheeseburgers here. Whatever. What do you need?
Of course, you offered the hot dog first.
You always do.
Got to keep the nachos buried.
Hot beef all day. But to tell the truth,
a lot of beef on Thursday night.
It gets to halftime. We're down. What was the score at halftime? Shh. Thank you. I turned to Rhett and I said, Rhett, here's the deal. We can stay till the end of a miraculous comeback and fight 2 hours of traffic, which, if that's what happens, so be it. Or we can leave right now, get the hell out of here. It'll take us 20 minutes to get home. We'll catch 90% of the second half on TV. And I've seen this movie before. I can tell you how it ends, or you can just watch it for yourself. So we took that option. We were home in 20 minutes.
You've grown up.
Yeah.
Good job. You're an adult.
I've sat through the end of that game before.
Dude,
I didn't think I had
hog
to.
too. Don't forget about that.
And a lot of
it was
hot
a
beef.
tough night.
A lot of
with all the hot beef sandwiches you smuggled.
A lot of beef.
Throw myself under the bus. I think I made the right decision.
I think you had too much beef.
I probably did. That's probably true. But leaving, I hate leaving. I hate leaving early, but it was definitely the right call.
Oh, everyone at the bar left early. Everyone left early. I couldn't leave early. I mentally checked out. I haven't yelled at the TV in a while. It was just gross. I felt disgusting. I felt embarrassed.
TV didn't do anything to you.
Let's go here. Kev, what jumps off this screen for you? What's the thing that you hate the most about the screen?
I can't see that far.
The team stats.
It's the rushing, Ken. It's the damn run. We got our ass beat at the line of scrimmage.
They sure did.
Here's what stinks, though. They completed passes to 3 gentlemen. 1 was for 10 yards. It was just a DJ Moore homecoming, just dookied all over the DMV. It was disgusting. Well, can we? Our whole job was to stop the best player in the other team. We've talked about that. We got to stop letting that guy kill us. And now we're like, just switch it up. Take Forbes off of him. Put Fuller over there. Let's not give him any help. And let's let DJ Moore torch us relentlessly.
Listen, I covered him for 4 years at Maryland. The dude was a stud.
He's a stud.
And I mean, he took over so many games, but one game in particular was at Michigan State in a weird, like, snow flurry. The entire stadium knew he was getting the ball on every single play, and he beat him single-handedly.
He's a badass.
He is a badass. He's always been a badass. He was a badass in college. He's a badass in the pros, and he certainly showed that.
Yep.
Here's what our guys did at the wide receiver spot, which is better. Obviously, it's a better look than our running back total. At least you had
Logan out there fighting
11 different receivers, and so it kind of leads you into the bright spot of the game. I mean, 11 receivers is super strong. Not enough targets for Terry. Only 5.
It's not. And if there's one big knock I got on Bieniemy so far, I think it's that he's not doing it enough. In this league, you gotta have a number one.
Push it at him.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy for me to say sitting here, in a basement, but
it's really
everybody else is doing it.
That's what I love about it.
Right?
Super easy.
Is everybody else doing it?
No, I definitely listen. We come out of the gates against the Eagles, Terry, and it sets the tone for the day. We don't get the win, but we play well. Offensively, we've flown by our defense. It's the better unit right now. It's kind of scary that that's a fact, but it's true. And right now, spreading the ball to 11 guys shows, this guy Bieniemy's for real. I'm not saying we played great offensively. We were good, though.
We didn't play bad.
No, I thought we played good,
The bad statistics That's on the defensive side. That's
playing
where
catch up has
putrid.
something to do with those run numbers. Obviously, we're back there, but Sam Howell playing from behind when they can just, like what we talk about, get in that position where they can just rush the passer like a SOB and not worry about any run responsibilities. He hung in the pocket. He was tough as shit again. I'm really falling in love with this guy. I'm really starting to believe that he is the future. And of course we got to improve, and we got to get some dudes in front of this guy for crap's sake. But
unless they don't win another
numbers.
game for the rest of the season, and then you have the decision to get Caleb. But
Sammy, 37
that's
of
a decision for
51,
another day.
388, 7.5. Pass.
That's a pretty damn good day. I mean, the interception.
Still got 5 sacks. I can't remember the last time I looked at that column and there was less than 5. I mean,
he takes a beating, man.
And he was our leading rusher, which is, obviously not what you
He's
want.
a hell of a player. It's when we start talking defense, we'll have some stuff to talk about because there's some obvious shit happening that needs to get fixed instantly. But that can be fixed. I do believe that.
Here's your defensive
I don't
stats.
believe it's not fixable.
So wait, my question about defense is:
Cody Barton just leading the league in tackles for us.
Who said that he leads the league in tackles
from 4 to 7 yards,
beyond 11 yards?
So my question is:
They have that.
we
stat,
have
by the
gone
way,
scheme
somewhere.
wise. We're just straight man for the most part, right? Like, do you change from that?
So here's the deal. Obviously, our rookie is getting torched. And by the way, 2 badass receivers, man to man. In this league, you don't just show up and lock them down. You have to figure that out as the DC with pressure from the front 4, with bringing pressure with extras, some over the help top, maybe get the rookie a little bit of help out there against these guys.
Is that where this is going?
He's
Because
getting worked.
everybody's talking about it.
I
right?
guess he's getting worked out there. I mean, I
Is
think
he
he's
getting
going to.
worked, or is Jack Del Rio getting worked?
I think it's a combination.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
That's why I just said
because I believe
our scheme is getting beat.
I believe this guy is going to be a great football player. I do. I think his athleticism is evident. I think his competitive skills. I also understand this league. These rookie corners, they get touched up a little bit. Let's help them out.
I hate to put any shine on the Eagles, but how about Slay throwing it out there in social media and saying, "Hey, look, man, I got benched twice back to back my rookie year. Hang in there, you're going to be great."
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty damn cool.
I agree with that.
He's
and
a
I
player.
think he is going to be damn good. And I do think he's also responsible for both of our losses in the last 2 weeks as much as anyone else. All those things can be true. It's all right. This is what happens to rookies in 5 weeks in the NFL, especially at that position. You're going up against the freakiest athletes on God's green earth. I mean, you can't expect this guy, and I think he's a damn good player to come in and lock it down, but I also don't think any of us expected him to get touched up the way he has been, because he's getting used a little bit right now, and and he has got a gigantic bullseye on him moving forward.
So you give him help. So if he's starting, which we're not even sure if they're going to start him this coming week, or for that matter, well, I guess they'll give someone else a chance to go man. But I mean, on top of the fact that on top of the fact that you don't now have a surefire corner that you were starting every week. You also lose Derek Forrest, on IR. So
Forrest and Reeves.
You're bringing it but from that the starting the safety that we're looking the level at which we're looking to give some help to Emmanuel Forbes is no longer. I mean, obviously you still have Cam Curl, but is it Quan Martin time or is
it has to be?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case. So, which leads directly into the question that everyone
logged a snap yet.
What leads to the question that has been, I think, the biggest topic of the week that I've seen, and we've had a long week now because we played Thursday, which is the playing time / success rate or whatever you want to call it of our rookie class, and
it's bad.
It's 5 games in, so that's one thing. But on the other hand, they're not playing a lot. And
that's what I mean by it.
And the one that's playing the most is getting dinged up the hardest.
Very strange.
Yeah.
But I guess they know this is a professional staff. I don't think they're out there joking.
No,
they're not playing. They're not playing. They're not kidding. So obviously that means that their guys aren't performing to the level we possibly thought this spring. I mean, because it ain't because the guys ahead of them are such ass kickers right now.
No, but
there's some guys in play like Ricky Stromberg.
Forrest has had his
Stromberg should be behind,
moments.
right? I mean, Stromberg is a guy that's going to be back in it.
Braden is on the
Braden
IR.
Martin's already IR'd up for the future, and you know what I mean. Like that's fine with me. And the one Quan Martin's weird. That's weird. Specifically him that he hasn't played yet, and it's Let's get him out there. But this is another guy that worried about his technique. They're talking about being worried about Forbes' technique, and I get it. He's out there just playing like an athlete. He's not playing with NFL technique, apparently, from what I'm understanding from the language. Well, that's why Quan Martin's not on the field. So that's not great either. And if that's the answer to just play more man-to-man, let's just get Quan out there.
I mean, Percy Butler is obviously going to get more snaps.
Of course he is. They're both, they said, going to share some snaps at that.
37. They have allowed 39 explosive plays. That's 9th worst in the NFL.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's 8 more that have had more explosive plays allowed on them. That sounds scary. But this isn't an answer to stop them. This isn't an answer to stop it.
Yeah, and by the way,
scary.
everyone's and let's not panic. It's 5 weeks in.
No.
It's not great, and let's talk. But like, it's not
Yeah,
not everyone's a failure. Not everyone's career is over.
We're just talking about the obvious.
Yes.
They're
Here's
not
why.
playing.
They're not.
And the ones
They
that are
stink.
But here's why we
the ones
sound,
who are getting crushed.
Here's why we sound like this, because we thought the defense was not going to be something we were worried about 5 games into the season. I don't think. Does anybody on the board think that was going to be the possibility?
Record-setting possibilities. If it wasn't for freaking Denver, both of us were on a pace, and Denver's slightly ahead of us with their 36 and some change points a game.
It's shocking,
but
but this is
it
the
is
problem.
shocking. It's shocking that we're so uncompetitive on that side of the ball. I can't fathom why people are just so. Why is DJ Moore so wide open? I'm sorry. It's not like he was like. He was wide open like 17 times. It was embarrassing. There was guys flying around. This is not one of the better offenses we've faced. I get it. Guy's playing well. The guy played good. Justin Fields is going to be a hell of a player, I think. But, geez, guys, they lost 14 in a row, and we're out there just getting pummeled. How is our defense
sold that
our
Fields
weakness?
is going to be a great player. I'm not sold on that.
That who? You're not sold on who? On what?
Fields.
I'm a fan of Fields. I think he's improved a ton in the
I-
year.
I
And that
like
shows
him.
that
He's
got a
improved in
big-
the last 2 weeks. There's no doubt.
He's got a big
but
ceiling.
I got something for you
Big
guys.
rifle
Give it
arm
up.
dude like that, he'll get better for a while. It depends on who he's with, but right now, against
you're
us, he
gonna
looked
do it?
pretty good.
You going to put it up there?
I'm gonna put it up there. I mean,
Do we have
Justin
things to
Fields.
throw at the-
Justin Fields
At the
is
monitor?
he's a football player. I mean, I think he passes the
No,
test
he's a football
when
player.
you
I
look
just
at
don't
him.
know how good he's going to be yet. I think some people were talking about.
I might try a
him
couple more
being
coaches
possible
before I get rid of
backup.
him. I mean, unless you're sitting on the spot to draft Caleb, unless that, and you have Justin. I mean, I gotta be honest. I don't know. I don't see him as the problem. But again, he's gone through coach. They've gone through coaches. They're like, okay. So this brings me to my next point that we can talk about. Maybe the board can help us chime in a little bit as well, and that is like the league, the landscape of the league is such that like there's only like what top of the mountain: Bills, Dolphins, Niners, Eagles.
I put the Eagles
You
in
have
there.
to.
I think that's 14. I think the drop off from there to like the middle class. I think the middle class of the NFL is gigantic. I think there's a bottom lower echelon where
We're competing for
where
it.
Chicago was like the mayor of, and then they beat us. But I think the middle class is gigantic in the NFL. It's weird. There's after those top 4 teams on a week to week basis, man, and people are getting crushed. Like the Patriots are getting crushed every single week. The San Francisco 49ers are crushing someone every single week. The Dolphins, except for when they randomly lose, they're laying it on pretty much everybody. The Eagles are kind of doing what they want to do at will, and then everyone else is kind of like
They're doing it ugly.
The Lions are pretty tough.
yeah. But
There's some scrappy dudes.
I love the Lions.
I put them in that next tier
The next
above
upper middle class.
Yes,
They're upper
I
middle
would.
class. They're living in like
they're
a.
not
at
on
the
the top
of
tier.
the next level.
Yeah.
and we're
They're
at the
paying someone to
bottom
cut their grass.
of
They're
the
paying
next
someone to
level.
cut their grass.
That's fair. Nah, they're from Detroit.
Okay, fair
No,
enough. They're
they're
cutting their
not
own
doing
grass.
that.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
And then Greg Martin's right. No one said that obvious. We all know who plays quarterback in Kansas City, and
The Chiefs, of course. It goes without saying. and
Yeah,
It
they're
should be
struggling
said.
a little bit though for the Chiefs.
What's that?
I mean, they're struggling a little
well,
bit.
they always come out the
Four.
gates like
Yeah, but
For
they're
the
still the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
yeah. They don't. They try
Yeah,
not
you-
to hit full
that's what I said.
stride.
Poor
the
Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah.
Just poor Chiefs.
For the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs.
For their standard, they've fallen short.
Here, this was what I believe, Kevin, you, let's see, let's go back to our stat background. It's a little something on the fly I cooked up for you guys.
Background.
And here we go. It just goes right in. Whoops, right in here. All right. So after 5 games,
Look at that, Ken. You did it.
well, I didn't do it. I copied it and pasted it.
It's a great hat.
JDR.
So I did all this, and I have notebook proof of it. I can show you my work.
Dude, I felt so
and
bad.
I sent it to you, and Ken's like, "Oh, I saw that today." I was like, "How the fuck do you see it?" I just did it in my notebook.
It was like
right
10
here.
seconds before Kevin.
Look.
I was sad.
F you junkies! Look, here it is. Here's the last season.
And you were doing the math, the
I
calculations.
added it all up on
Are we
either
talking
side of the page.
copyright infringement here?
No, but I didn't like the junkies in the first place. Now they can.
totally
shove my calculator. No, I'm just kidding. I
look,
don't know them or care. I have no idea about the junkies.
every single year he starts out, and those are big differences. I mean, that's 11 points.
It's ridiculous.
9 points.
It's ridiculous
almost
to be
10
put
points.
in that position in the first 5 weeks of the season for 4 straight years. How about that? Like, come on, man. It's a 1-4 start or a 2-3 start every year. And
Offenses are supposed to start slower too. That's the thing that kills me the
but
hardest.
here's the deal: from 28.4 to 17 points in 2020, from 31 to 23.3. And by the way, the second number is the rest of the season. It's not like, and then 25.6 to 17.8. Like, forget about the yards. I get that; it comes with it. But the points, that's insanity. That 11 games at 17 points a game after 5 at 28.5. To start off this whole thing, he kind of set the tone there. So we should expect this. Yeah. And it is 5 games in every year. It's kind of nuts until the numbers start to dwindle and start to normalize. But
Jack Del Rio is just sitting in his office being like,
I know, it doesn't make me feel better. I was doing it because I was curious.
No, he's just like,
game 6.
I got you. Listen, 5 games.
Yes.
I do whatever you
want.
want.
It's almost mid-October, guys. Just chill the hell out.
Everybody, this is what I do.
I know we've been here since mid-August, but the first 2 months don't really count that much, do they?
And you know what he's all about, because what do we talk about all summer long? We talk about how great our defense it was, and they were, statistically speaking. They finished again at or near the top, because you always remember what they do in November and December. No one's remembering September so much. It would seem.
To last year go 1-4 and then 7-4-1, and to have a 60-yard change per game and about an 8 points per game change, that's huge. Now, I don't know how. So you got to give him credit for, I guess, figuring something out 1/3 of the way through the season every year. But why? Like what the? How? I don't understand it. It makes no sense, except for hopefully that false hope. Hopefully Mosley doesn't show up at the game next home game.
What was this, NES Tecmo? I was dragged from apathy. I don't know. I'm trying to follow on the board. It's a great comment. It's a great 5 words. I would love for you to explain what you meant when you said that.
You're going to think about this all night. You're going to dig deep on this one.
I just threw it up there. He's going to have a chance.
Meaning he was apathetic towards the team, and now they can go eat a big bag of it, I think. That's my guess.
Well, apathetic means you don't care.
I know.
So he was dragged from it.
Yes.
I think he's back to it.
Like he did.
Is there anything worse than apathy?
All right.
Well, apathy.
There's a lot of things worse than
absolutely
apathy. Like,
is apathy like the atheist of it's like it's like you're like believing that there's no God is still a belief structure. It's like it's not nihilism. Like we're getting pretty
the
deep.
Philosophy.
Wow, I didn't know we were going there.
Of religion.
It's really
in the Marangolo Basin has been remarkable today.
It's so good. Anything to not talk about Thursday night? So I think I'm ready to put Thursday to bed. I mean, we blitzed through some stats. We talked about the terribleness of it. I mean, we're 2-3.
I was ready to put it to bed before it was over last Thursday.
Yeah, it was disgustingly gross.
It was embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing.
And it was unexpected. I guess, like, I don't know. If this is the last thought, it's the last thought. You guys bring in whatever you want to say. But
not as bad as the Monday Night Massacre.
I went into this game with a feeling of confidence that I haven't felt in a while, and it was so wrong. So wrong.
You and Rhett skipping like Laverne and Shirley into the players' entrance was Instagram.
Foreshadowing.
I will never ever forget.
Foreshadowing.
But then leaving at halftime, just downtrodden.
Did you mean to do that?
I don't know. I didn't see the end of the story on the gram, but Ken never finishes it. He starts the Instagram post and he never finishes them.
I do?
No. You must have butt dialed it.
There's an Instagram post. I put an Instagram post out for real.
You and Rhett just.
Oh, sorry. You're right. There was a ... scenario.
Maybe it was Rhett. I don't know. But
it was. Let's just say
there was high hopes.
We left at halftime. Okay, let's just put it that way. We left at halftime.
Did you skip on the way out too?
No.
Okay.
I fireman carried Rhett all the way to the Avalanche, and it was a show.
Did you ever find that passy?
I did not find the passy. I was looking, not for lack of looking.
The guttural screams I could hear in the background when I told you, "Don't come to the Knights. We're good. We're good." Sorry, I did have a pizza waiting there for you.
It's true.
Just because I said I would have food, I did. And I ate the ever-living crap out of that in the restaurant.
I'm so happy.
From where? Where'd you get it from?
I couldn't have done it.
Anthony Slazo's brother
nice.
pulls up a Firestone right in it's an awesome little food truck with someone welded a pizza oven onto the back of a trailer, and he parks that bad boy, sets some lights up out there, and cooks the crap out of some pizzas.
I haven't had his pizza yet.
Delicious.
All right, that's what's happening.
It's the best pizza in town right now, and that's because our pizza sucks.
It is true. We need better pizza. I'm continually bummed out. I again.
It's disturbing how bad and expensive our pizza is around here. It's terrible.
I'm a Chicago deep dish from Chicago. I've been there. I love it. It's the best pizza to me personally. I love Detroit style.
The old Geppetto's deep dish pepperoni was
But
the
local-
bomb, and I can't
local
find it anywhere.
I'm
My
New York
wife
style.
is like on a
then
mission.
And Vincent Dominic's was my number one, and they closed
Yep.
about 10 years ago around here. And
What's your
nothing-
number two?
everything's-
Is there a number two?
No.
Okay.
Because everything is number two. It's
Okay.
terrible.
I've had Anthony's
Turns into
recently.
one.
It
Terrible.
was okay. Anthony's pretty good.
A coal fired?
Yeah.
It's not
All
bad.
right.
It's not like New York. It's not like New York.
We don't
style.
have shit anywhere. If anyone knows anything locally, less than an hour from the nation's capital that has decent pizza.
Did you do Underground Pizza Company? You said you did, didn't you?
I just,
Yeah, it's a deep dish.
it's fine.
It's
I
fine.
want something that makes me like happy, like Vincent Dominic's happy.
Okay.
Like I skipped into that bad boy with just with a full breadstick. I'm just telling you.
A full that's more like Crazy Bread. Let's be honest. 1980s crazy, late 1980s Crazy Bread.
I don't want to comment.
Seasoned.
I
to
worked there since
perfection.
I was little. So
Seasoned to perfection.
I went there from the day I was born until I was 38 years old, and then it just up and left. Thanks, Home Depot.
J Dubs, what's up? NES Tecmo, some new guys. Hey, for all the folks hanging out with us tonight, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already. If you hear or see something you like, give us a thumbs up. We are. I think we're through talking about the Bears. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons briefly. They're a boring team coached by a technically
local guy,
sound local guy coach. They're not afraid to play you to the last second, and they tend to win those games because that's what Arthur Smith does. He engineers his way to a 2-point game.
He does. It's weird.
It's so weird, and which makes me think that he's a pretty damn good coach. He's got a lot of young players still. The Atlanta Falcons are kind of still on the quote unquote up and coming rate. I think their defense is unheralded improperly. Their defense is actually pretty good. They're sound, I guess. And then what they do on offense is. They've been doing it now. They've been doing that now multiple seasons. They just run.
They've got scary weapons.
They run all over the place.
They do.
Well, Bijan is the
He
stud.
wants to run the ball like no one's business, and yes, they've got guys all around that make
They haven't
Ritter
quite
look a little bit
figured out
better
yet.
because
Yes,
he gets
maybe
put in
Ritter's-
a bit of a better position with all this
Maybe he's the
successful
weak
running
link
of the ball.
that's not pulling it together yet, but
And he looked his best in the last week or two.
Ritter?
Unfortunately, he's
Desmond Ritter.
He's starting to play a little better. And last week, and
Yeah, he threw the ball not this week, but maybe it was either last week
but
or
it's
the week
Jack
before.
Del Rio's sixth
He
game,
threw the ball
so he better watch out.
40 times.
you're getting sleepy after 5 weeks.
Dude, I was-
People like me.
It is a 6th game. I'll give you that.
It's the 6th.
I don't know. We played them last year. I was there. It was raining. It was FedEx. It was a miserable day, and we did win in a game that ultimately didn't matter too much. But Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, I don't know, is Cordero healthy? No. Okay. And Desmond Ritter. And then they traded for Van Jefferson today. Well, that's I think you can plug and play that guy. I'll be shocked if he didn't play this week. Drake London is a stud. Kyle
He's going
Pitts
to
is
get
a stud.
6 for 87 and 1.
See, all the names you just named. They're scary names.
Yeah.
So and I think we learned a lesson last week. You can't go into any week being confident.
No. He told us that about Arizona Cardinals, and we were like,
And they're better.
Right. Arizona Cardinals are better, yeah.
They're better than the Bears, who just thumped us.
We were thumped. It's so Okay, how about this? How about as a lasting positive thought? The throw to Terry McLaurin at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, from Sam Howell was so not the one where he stepped on the arm and should have been in
Across the field.
the cross field,
Yeah,
over the shoulder.
It was freaking beautiful.
That throw was next level. God, I hate the fact that like I'm living on that throw because I would rather be living on so much else from that game. It was sublime.
Don't live on throws.
I know.
It's my advice to you.
But it was sublime.
It was sublime. All right.
Sublime.
It was a nice play.
I don't know. Again, one play.
I wouldn't go quite as far as you, but
Is that a breadstick I'm noticing?
There
in your
was
golf
straight
shirt?
6 to midnight.
Jesus.
Maybe like 11:30, 11:35. We better
I wish
win,
my
Greg
chair was
says.
sideways.
Sorry, it was a garlic nut. Just wanted to say it before anyone on the board.
Anyone want to do a... okay, so here we have some board business. We have a birthday. I believe it's happening on Tuesday next week on the board. Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg. Is your birthday next Tuesday night? I told him if for his birthday he could pick a draft topic and participate in it as a drafter on his birthday, and that goes for anyone else on the board of our
We're like
crew.
Baskin Robbins in this bad boy, just doling out birthday love. I love it.
Well, I think that's a great.
Greg
comp.
deserves it.
Absolutely. I mean, what about Farrell's? I think we're more like the Farrells.
No, Baskin Robbins, you wrote it down and they sent you a birthday card with a free ice cream cone on it
Farrell's.
to your
I
house.
never got
that.
that.
You registered at Baskin Robbins.
Damn
That's
it,
why I
I never
said it,
got that.
and they mailed you a card a week before with a free thing, and you were like, to Kevin Ricca, a chocolate chip ice cream cone. You birthday boy, son of a guy.
Get over here.
And I was like,
Get on
I got
over
that
here.
shit in the mail, and it's for me. And I'm gonna go get myself an ice cream.
See you later.
Happier than ever. Man.
I'm taking
What's
the car.
better than that?
Kevin,
Way to
you're
go,
7 years
Baskin
old. You're
Robbins.
not driving anywhere. Well, I am. Okay, we got confirmation. Yeah, next Tuesday night is in
Awesome.
fact Greg Martin's birthday, so you can pick the draft topic. Please let us know and let the board know so everyone can do their homework, and we will do a draft of your topic next week.
Which one of you guys is Brain the Muff Cake?
Oh, it's going to be
Oh,
Sorry,
looks like
T.
it's you, T-Bird.
good news.
I was trying to figure out what a muff cake would be.
Dib's not climbing out of it.
Don't.
Oh, sorry, Ken. It's a tough one. Next Tuesday's going to be big time.
I'll jump out of the cake.
All right, fair enough.
It was weird. I was already doing that anyways. Let's see. NES had some pretty negative stuff on JDR, but I'll grant it. I'll give it to
Mobile
you.
quarterbacks are honestly, it's it's coming. At least a couple times a game, like a 40-yard scamper. Like when Josh Allen early in the game took off in Buffalo, I was like, it was 3rd and 9, and he got the 9, and he just kept on going. I was like, there's no one out there. Did we not think this was a possibility on 3rd and 9? Because I watched this guy, and it's pretty evident that he's very capable of this. And did we spy him with? No, we didn't.
No.
Nope. We just
From our TV.
rushed 4 and played coverage with 7, and everyone ran
There
down
was
the
a camera
field,
guy
and-
on him.
Yeah, he was.
The camera guy had never lost him. We, however, did not do so well.
Let's hire the camera guy.
Muff Cake is good,
Do you
guys.
think the camera guy could do better than Barton? Maybe.
I don't know.
No, because Barton's good after a few yards. He'll go get you. The camera guy's he's gonna be winded.
No.
You gotta find the guy who tackled Baker Mayfield. I was waiting for you. I was
I
waiting for that
know.
one.
I
The
didn't want
security
to.
guard.
He's playing better. I'm not gonna give him a hard
The Arkansas
time.
cop or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Where was he?
security guard. Yeah.
All right. So how about this? Give me a let's mix things up this week. Give me a final score of the Atlanta Falcons game.
Oof.
We won't go out on that. Let's just get it in mid thought.
23-21. We somehow pull it out Del Rio style.
That's an Atlanta Falcons game. 2-point game. T.
Since it is Del Rio's 6th game
Ooh. Love the analysis.
and our offense isn't quite clicking on all cylinders, I'm going to say 21-17. Good guys.
All right. So you guys are keeping it low. Keeping it low. I think that Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell are figuring stuff out. I think our offense is not turning into anything remotely unstoppable or juggernaut-esque, but I do believe that what I'm seeing from Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy is indicative of an offense that can score points. I don't think we're going to be held to less than 25 points. I'm going to say 31 points. I do think we get 31, and I think this is a good week. I think it's 31-17. Good guys.
That's what T and I predicted for the Bears.
Damn it. Well, hey, we're mixing it up.
I know,
we're mixing it up.
Now it's you, and we didn't, so that's
Manner
better.
of speaking is the first one of our board to go the other way.
Yeah,
That's okay. Hey.
Listen, I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I was furious, and I felt sick all week. So saying that we're going to win isn't because I'm a homer. It's just because I feel like we're going to win. That's it.
I do too. I mean, until I haven't, it hasn't been. Like, I haven't had my nose rubbed in like the fact that we're terrible. Like that's happened a lot of times in the last 20 years.
I agree with that feeling.
Where you're just like,
We don't know why we stink, though.
Yeah,
You're like, why do we stink?
Yeah, why are we so
Why
bad?
does our defense smell? What's the problem?
And why is Brock Purdy like a Hall of Fame quarterback all of a sudden?
Well, because
he's a perfect fit for them. And
He is.
he's a goddamn good player.
He
too.
is.
I don't want to take anything from Brock Purdy away from Brock Purdy, but I mean,
He's in a nice spot.
yes.
I agree.
He's in the perfect spot.
He is.
You know what? Guess there was another guy who was in the perfect spot at the right exact time, and he just finished a 20 bazillion year career, and he's going to the Hall of Fame right away. And obviously, I'm not ready to say Brock Purdy is as good as Tom Brady, but Tom Brady came into a great situation where he wasn't asked to be the savior of anything, and he was pretty.
Tom Brady
damn
did
good.
it though with guys that
They had good defense. They had
wouldn't
everything.
be number ones on other teams, or wouldn't be
I understand. Wes Welker, I think, is up there. Julian Edelman's up there. He had
Edelman's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
that has to be put in the mix. But that was later in his career. He had Randy Moss briefly. He had some dudes over the
I
years.
think
Deion Branch was a Super Bowl MVP.
Deion Branch was.
He had a couple guys.
Oh, by the way, he had Randy Moss for a year when Randy Moss caught 25 or plus of his 50. Yeah. So I mean, he definitely. I think Brock. I'm not making the comparison between Brock Purdy and Tom Brady at this point in time, but I am saying he is in that spot.
Please refrain from this. That.
He hasn't lost a game yet as a starter, I believe.
Well, so now you're comparing Shanahan with Belichick because it was the synergy. I think
who was
what
Charlie
really
Weiss
drove them
on the
over.
offense.
Early Charlie Weiss,
And then Josh McDaniels.
Yes.
But because Belichick's defense.
Yes.
I mean, and he's calling tons of run, and he's making sure you're calling lots of run plays. But, I'm ready to crown Brock Purdy in many ways, but Kyle Shanahan is so goddamn annoying.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
He's crowning anybody after there's no crownings. He's playing behind the best offensive line, maybe the best running backs and receivers
I know.
and tight ends.
Now I know
with
why
coach.
there's a stiff San Francisco 49ers sock over there.
No, there's a sourdough hanging out of this guy's freaking front pocket, isn't there?
No, it's more of a baguette.
And there's some rice-a-roni in there because it's a San Francisco treat.
It's a San Francisco treat.
The vermicelli. I can smell it. You're burning the vermicelli, Ken. Turn it low.
Here's what. First of all, it's a great vermicelli reference. AOOA, Tony Maselli situation. I appreciate that all day. But like Brock Purdy is like a shining beacon of people
Don't say Brock Purdy again, please.
He's a shining beacon of guys who come into the league who are awesome, and they are in the terrible worst spot. They have no running back, no wide receivers, no offensive line. They get beat to hell and shredded right out of the league. And obviously he got hurt last year, and it was a bad injury to his elbow, and it might have cost them their chance at the Super Bowl. But he is not that guy. He is the guy who came into the exact right spot, the perfect spot. He's putting up the kind of numbers that are, we have to wait for the end of the season. Was that you, sir?
No.
Okay.
No, it was this. It was the.
Okay. He's putting up the kind of numbers that we're going to have to start paying attention to in terms of long-term situation. I mean, he needs more to his resume before we do any crowning.
Do you think so?
I think that's what.
But watching it game by game, it's so crazy, dude. He's just dropping like 4 touchdowns here, 5 touchdowns there. He's always finding the open guy.
He's essentially playing 7-on-7 right now.
Yes.
For God's sake.
Well,
let's let him take a few shots and play a few playoff games first.
Fair enough. But of the things that he does well, it's not throwing, it's not running. The thing he does great is read a defense. And that's a hell of a skill. Now, again, he still has to read a defense in mid-January at that. And we'll see if he can do it. I hate that Kyle Shanahan has him. I guess let's just say that. I hate that Kyle Shanahan has him.
I think
he's a douche.
I have no further comments. I thought you were
next
gonna...
issue.
Yeah, yes.
Nope. Give it a little ding. We have to do a little maybe a bicycle horn. All right, and that means we're going to the next. That means we're done talking about Brock Purdy. How about this?
Thank God.
Never mind. I'm done.
We do have a draft tonight.
Yeah.
We have some score predictions. We kind of got through the terribleness of getting to 2 and 3, and on to week 6. JDR's. It's like his third date game, if we're being honest. That's what.
No more
that's
hog
what this
kicking,
is.
JDR.
This is the third date game, his 6th game. All right, so last week we said we were going to draft TV show neighbors. TV show neighbors. Any TV show. And it has to be a neighbor. And I think, so what I've done is I've collected, as I want to do, a bunch of pictures. I know we don't always, I might not have all the ones you guys picked, but I'm guessing I'm going to have a good amount of them. We're going to draw at random.
At some point, it's almost a finite list in my research.
Well, it has to be your favorite.
It's also finite in the sense that there's not an endless amount of TV show neighbors. I mean, at some point you do reach the bottom of the barrel. I mean, you're getting
we're talking for the upper crust here, right? The elite.
Yeah, I mean,
we're drafting the finest. We're formulating a starting squad for ourselves.
Oh, I have a top and a bottom here. Yes,
I bet you do. I bet you do.
That was not said all that slickly.
I have no doubt in my mind that you have both a top and a bottom.
And then the rest.
Is it a text thread that reminded you, or is this
Would you say it's an
alert?
Power bottom?
This was more fun when we were doing it together.
Well, that means I'm next, so I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm ready.
All right, so the first pick in the draft is going to go to Tim Strachan this evening. And we're going to go this way and then on back. All right, Kevin is our official draft keeper. And we have a, let's see, all right. So we're going to go, let's see. I got, all right, I'm all set. If you say the name of the person who I have, I will show them. If not, I won't.
Well, you got to have this guy. And I think it's
it's
not everybody's number one.
Hey, wait, I got to do this one thing.
He's going to predict it.
I got to do this. I'm not going to predict
It's my number one.
I hope I'm not ruining anything. I really do. One of our longtime family members on the board, Ken Harris, had some surgery. He's recovering nicely. I think he had a little something going on with his hip. And so he's unable to participate. And he did ask. He knew we were doing this draft tonight, and he said, there's one guy. It's got to be, everyone's going to think it, and it's got to be that guy. So I want to throw him up there and essentially take him off the board right away. On behalf,
you're taking him off the board?
On behalf of...
If Ken Harris gave you a fish sandwich and you didn't give it to me...
Ken Harris,
this is the fish...
It might not be my number one.
The Ken Harris...
It may be what I think
fish sandwich pick to lead things off. The honorary, he's hitting the opening drive in the tournament. I mean, it's Cosmo Kramer.
Ken Harris.
Damn. yes, I love it.
Give me back my fillet of fish.
Cosmo Kramer. By the way, I was...
So that means I don't get him.
That means you don't get him. But you still have the first
Ken,
pick.
Great pick. He doesn't get him. He didn't give me that fish sandwich. I hope you're feeling better, my man. That's we'll hope to see. We're gonna get to see him soon. We're heading out to McNamara, man. You can't go to McNamara without seeing Ken Harris.
We have McNamara on the airwaves for you, Ken. On Saturday, our boys will be traveling to Military Road to take on St. John's. Tough matchup for the Mustangs. And everyone who's paying attention online right now is watching the show. You'll see the three of us once again live Saturday 1 p.m. kickoff. St. John's homecoming. Against Bishop McNamara Mustangs.
The undefeated McNamara Mustangs.
Undefeated Mustangs. Yeah, they got the hardest stretch in high school football coming up.
They always do.
And they've gone the opposite of undefeated in that stretch. But we'll see. Big hopes for the Stangs. T, I bought you some time. What do you got?
Oh,
ruining the very pants I was about to return.
Kramer off the board.
I wasn't a huge fan of the show. I didn't watch it all the time, but for some reason this guy is just when you talk about TV neighbors, I think he is the quintessential TV neighbor. Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I think he's the guy you think of. I think it's.
I thought it was him or Kramer that would go first.
Yeah,
there he is.
I mean, that's.
And
In 8 years on the air of Home Improvement, you never saw his full face, not once.
isn't that crazy?
It's kind of cool.
And I don't know if anybody, if everybody would realize that Kramer's like a neighbor more than just a character and a friend of the show. I think when you think neighbor, like the word neighbor, Wilson's the guy that.
Well,
Heidi Ho.
Kramer does the sliding in his socks from
Right.
across the
He
hall.
is the neighbor.
But this is the neighborly.
This is yes.
This is when you see your neighbors typically in our neck of the woods. The dude Earl Hindman. Yeah, no one ever knew.
No one ever knew, which was the coolest
and he
thing.
gave great
Anonymity.
advice. And
He was a wise guy, man.
Great
Heidi
advice.
ho, neighbor. That was his line.
Reminds me a lot of my neighbor.
Really?
Well, I have
Yeah.
I
Okay.
Vinnie Morin calls my neighbor Wilson because
That's right.
He does the same thing.
I think of that.
Yeah.
I think of that.
He likes it.
I
So then
like it.
Then we have a Bethany Wilson down at Bethany. Same lady does the same thing. So obviously, if you're a cultural reference, you go first in the neighbor draft.
All right, so I'm up, and I know that 2 people are going after I say my guy, so I got to take him right away, and that's Ned Flanders.
Yep.
I'm a huge Flanders guy. There he is in his glory, just absolutely crushing it. Look at him.
That's
Glory.
an odd picture that you would choose.
That's your neighbor. If that's your
I'm not.
Heidi
I'm not
Ho.
real sure.
Heidily hodily.
So the last 2 had to have a Heidi Ho.
So Wilson was
Both
Heidi
these-
Ho,
Yeah,
and Flanders was Heidily hodily neighborino.
yeah. Well, that is an interesting choice of.
That's a disturbing choice of pictures that you would choose.
Of the Flan man. Well, I told my wife, don't worry about it. Ken's taking Flanders with the first pick.
Ken's taking Flanders with the first pick. All right, what do you got, Kev? You get 2 in a row.
2 in a row, and I'm gonna go super old school. I'm gonna go with the Fonz.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
course.
get his picture. Damn it.
What?
Yeah, no, I. You know what? I didn't get his picture. That's a mistake.
Here's the thing: the Fonz did not show up on many, if not any,
Yeah.
of the online.
It didn't occur to me. I did watch Happy
They
Days
can
and reruns,
sit on it.
I don't know why.
but
The Fonz was just the Fonz, man. How
That's
cool
the
was that?
Fonz,
How
dude.
Richie
He lived
Cunningham
upstairs.
got to have the Fonz live up there. How
Yeah.
great was that for Richie? Not for Mr. C, but Mrs. C and him were cool.
they were super cool.
Yeah, they were. I mean,
And
he was the
Joni-
coolest. Henry Winkler was like the original. Like when he'd hit the jukebox, though, I just remember when I was a kid, step into my office.
How about the cultural reference? I'm sure nobody. A lot of the. I wonder if Rhett even knows what jumping the shark really like, where it came from.
Have you ever even heard of the saying?
Hey.
Okay, he's heard of the saying, "Jumping the shark."
There you go.
Did you
All right.
know it was the Fonz?
Well, yeah, that Happy Days invented the concept of jumping the
He
shark.
did not. He did not know it came from the Fonz.
It came from Happy Days.
You're gonna learn some stuff tonight. You're gonna learn.
All right, you get 2 in a row.
All right,
see if I
I'm
got
keeping
you.
it old school. Another,
didn't want to be the
I think the
Fonz?
most gigantic cultural reference that I use on daily basis, always and always have and always will. My man Eddie Haskell. Eddie Haskell.
I have some old school, but I don't have Eddie Haskell.
Man,
What?
my top 2 don't get any love.
I know. I'm sorry.
These are all in the
But
top.
can I just tell you
my
about Eddie
top
Haskell?
tier.
2
Every
sentences?
single one that's
Yeah,
been
no,
called
keep
out.
going. Eddie still is used today as a reference to
Yeah, no doubt.
a person.
So he was typecast in Los Angeles. Ken Osmond was Eddie Haskell's name. So he was like,
Great
damn.
name.
His mom was like some movie lady, made him get into acting. Blah blah. They were gone. He's getting no high. He becomes a LAPD police officer. He's like, I had to do something, and he did that and retired after 18 years. He was shot and he was honorably discharged and he went back to acting again. Dude just took like 18 years off and was a cop. And in the 80s, I remember this. All the older kids were like, Eddie Haskell is Alice Cooper. I remember like the older guys telling me, and back then there was no frame of reference. You couldn't go to your phone or to your
Yeah.
thing. And then the big rumor in the 80s was that Eddie Haskell was John Holmes, to the point at a grand jury he had to testify by
That one sounded suspicious.
John Holmes.
Eddie Haskell was forced to show his privates.
What?
That's insane.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yes. I don't think he accepted. They just
They're
asked.
like, we insist, sir.
But
we
that's
insist.
nuts. I love these crazy stories. He was the original, like, behind your back turd. But my mom always said, don't bring over an Eddie Haskell. I don't want to. She didn't care if someone had personality. She didn't want any BS.
All right.
I went old school there. Eddie and the Fonz.
So I'm going to pull Flanders down, and
Don't
I'm going
say
to go
that. Don't say it that way.
with an
Did he say
all-time
pull
great
Flanders'
neighbor.
Pants down.
I'm a big Larry Dallas. All the
Oh,
buttons
yeah.
unbuttoned. All the buttons unbuttoned.
Larry, you got a lot of.
I mean, between him and Flanders,
you got some homoerotic fire
There's a
tonight,
lot
Mr.
going on.
Tuesday.
Him and Jack when they did the knuckle bite, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, no. We're gonna take that off there. Good thing the camera was off for that one. But Larry, love you, Larry. T, you get 2.
all right, I have
Love
a
your
point-
body, Larry.
Love your body, Larry.
I do have a point of order.
Is that from Three's Company?
Flat.
I was gonna say.
Point of order because I have several of these.
Okay,
If it
point
is
of order.
if it is a couple or if it's 2 people who are the neighbors, are we forced to pick one?
Nope.
Or can they be a couple?
You can, if it's a
Well, no one's
well-known.
going to pick the other one if you pick one, so
Yeah.
you might as well take them.
That's
yes.
not necessarily true for all of them, but
If it's an
I think you're
established
right.
as a couple, there's I have some on my list
I'm
that are
not. If you
established.
take
as
a couple, I'm not taking the other half. Of
okay. So Barney and Betty Rubble.
I was gonna say. By the way, I was gonna say if you take Barney, I'm not taking. If you take Betty, I'm not taking Barney.
It didn't mean that necessarily that couple, but I didn't want to leave Betty out either
You guys
Because I
listening?
call
Are you
them-
listening to yourselves?
because they are
Ken.
wonderful neighbors.
There you go.
They were.
There they are. The
Adorable,
Rebels.
fun,
You think I wasn't gonna take Barney and Betty? Give me
Fred.
a break.
always
What
down.
you doing?
Not my only couple, by the way, on my
No
list.
I
way.
have several.
Couple couples.
So you get to go again.
A couple couples.
Ooh.
Love
Ooh.
your body, Larry.
I get to go again?
Yeah, you get to go again.
Let's do it. Joe Swanson.
Oh, really? You mean this guy?
I got to take him. I mean, nobody else could take him.
Well,
He's
if,
my
if,
guy.
if it came
He's
back to
one
me a
of
couple
me.
times, I may
He's
have
my
taken him
people.
just to.
That's why Reds people are thinking you could have gotten him in a later round.
Yeah, damn you, Red.
No, he is definitely up
Now,
at the
see,
top.
that's your third round guy. You took him in the third round. You didn't let the draft deny your ability to take who you wanted. I respect best player available.
Yeah, you're going to tell me there's a better neighbor than that? Come on.
Not arguing with you.
I am going to tell you there's a better neighbor than that.
Ooh.
And I'm going to switch you. You know what? I need to rid myself of the rumors swirling around the draft about Larry and and Ned Flanders. And I got to quickly switch the narrative and go with one of my all-time favorite neighbors. Now, this was I loved this show, but
This is a big pick for you, Ken.
this is a big pick for me. Donna. Now, I thought that 70s show was great. I love that show, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but
Not on my list.
I love that show.
I love that
the
show.
show.
And the
Is
next
she
door
on your
neighbor,
list? Kev?
No.
the next door neighbor, when your next door neighbor is Donna, when you're 13 years old,
Sneaky hot, too.
of course she was. Of course she was. And her mother was a Playboy Playmate Bond girl, Tanya, whatever her name was, Tanya something or other. But her mom was hot in her day. And go ahead.
You can't just start talking about
Sorry.
somebody else's pick.
There's more neighbors. Sorry, there's more neighbors.
I mean,
I thought you were going to say
Sir.
can't talk about somebody else's.
I'm taking Donna.
Sir.
I'm taking Donna, and you get 2 in a row.
sir. All right. Well, I don't know what to do here, so I'm just going to go out and do it. Just say what you feel, right?
Say what you
do
feel. Just
Boner. I'm going with boners to bone.
boners to bone.
I looked it up. Was he actually a neighbor?
Of course he was a neighbor. They went to the same public school, so they have to be from the same neighborhood. And he
Ooh,
walked in the
but
house.
neighbor,
He
so-
walked in the house.
Richard
Point of
Stabone.
order.
Richard, I know.
The third.
Hold on. If he knocks on the door and comes in, he's your neighbor.
Yeah.
If you knock
Okay.
on the door and walk in, that's your
I mean,
neighbor. That's
Kramer-
what that's
Kramer
what
just
I
I
walked
knock
in.
on your door and walk in, and I'm not your neighbor.
You're my neighbor. We both live in Kensington. I can walk to your house. I think if I can
We
walk
have
to your house,
different
you're my neighbor.
definitions of neighbor.
This show is sponsored
Yeah,
by
well,
talking about
yeah,
the
well,
guy
Mr.
next
we
door.
Rogers.
also have this. I
I
never
thought it
want
was
to
a stretch
argue
if they
about
were
it.
across the street, but
No, you're taking it way too seriously of the
I'm a
because
lawyer, dude. I just got.
yeah, I
need
know.
to know.
That's the part
I
I'm
need
trying
to know
to
the
get past.
definition
We're trying
of
to get.
neighbor,
I know.
and I don't think
we
you
don't
and I
need
have the
to.
same
Well, no, but
definition
I don't
of
think we
neighbor.
need to have fun. That's not necessary.
Okay,
Here we
okay,
go. I say boner, and you're like, no, point of order. No,
Point of
I say
order.
boner. You say, hey, boner.
Richard Stabone.
See, he didn't do it.
But you know what?
Boner.
You didn't either.
Boner is
I said, I say
something
boner. You
more
say,
than-
hey, boner.
Boner. Sorry.
You didn't do it either.
I didn't do it either.
I say
But
boner.
boner is the
You
word
say, hey,
you say
boner.
too much.
Hey,
Boner. Yeah, you don't have
I'm
to do
mixing it
You're
up.
a terrible cheerleader.
I'm the worst.
Well, here's the deal. Even better. Tell me what
we practiced so many other boner cheers on the outside. That's not even like the top 5 boner cheers we practiced on the patio.
Rhett was the best. He was like, "Give me a boner,"
and everyone was like, teeter on it.
Everybody got quiet.
So many boner
Hold
cheers.
on.
But
I just want to say, while
ahead.
we're talking about boner, it is Richard Milhouse
Stabone. The third.
Tell me what his father's name is, and I swear to God, I'm not kidding.
I thought it.
Tell me what his
Richard
father's.
Stabone. I thought he was the third.
No.
No,
Oh, no.
he wasn't. Okay.
No, because it's way better.
Sylvester Stabone.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
For
It was
real.
Sylvester
It's
Stallone.
for real.
It is Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I know it's Sylvester
Oh,
Stallone.
it's so good.
That's why I
Boner
wrote it
was
down.
a great character. I did not have him on my list because I didn't think he was a neighbor.
All right, so
Stop doing stuff like that. No one's going to get mad at you if you take a guy that lives across the street instead of right next
I
door.
looked it up.
what do you got? Boner is in and he's on your team and you have a boner.
You're damn right he is. I have a
You
boner.
saying boner is just another Tuesday.
I know. That's why I took him. You
And
took
Wednesday,
you took the
or
wheelchair
Thursday,
neighbor,
or
you son of a
Friday.
bitch. Like, what the shit? I can take the boner? God.
It's true.
All right. Well, I'm
That was one of
I'm
two.
gonna flip this boner under my belt and go ahead with Mr. Roper.
Yeah.
Mr. Roper. How about that one, Ken
That's a good
Harris?
one.
That's a 180.
Because up to the legalese I heard earlier means I get Mrs. Roper as well, and
Yeah,
I'll
you
give
do.
her to Ken
The
Harris
Ropers. They are the Ropers.
for the fried fish sandwich that I never got. I'd like to give Ken Harris back Mrs. Roper, who
By the
he
way-
earned last week with his sentiments,
Yes, he's not.
and I'm taking
bashful.
Mr. Roper. I love how he thought Jack was gay the whole time, and he wasn't like ashamed of it. He still hung out. He weirded him out.
It weirded him out.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know what that means, but it was like, come on, dude, he's not. Norman Fell, tail gunner in the Pacific during World War II. Attaboy, Mr. Roper. Thank you, sir, for your service.
Thank you for your service. By the way, I went on record last week and I said I'm a Mr. Furley guy over Mr. Roper, but that's not about Mr. Roper hate at all. I like the Three's Company that you fell in love with in the first couple seasons. That was all about Mr. and Mrs. Roper in so many ways.
It was Mr. and Mrs. Roper were I just never got over. Her character was great.
Yeah.
Not tonight. What was it, Helen?
Was it?
Yes, Helen. Yeah,
was
I have it written right there.
Yeah,
Not
Helen
tonight,
was-
Helen. I've got a headache.
I've got-
She was always trying to get it in, and Stanley
She
was
was a frisky one.
I know.
She had so many lines. I mean, everything was about, well,
I know.
I mean, it was great.
Yeah, she was entertaining. She was a character. I
She
enjoyed
was.
her. Enjoy her. Ken Harris. That didn't sound great, but you know what I mean.
All right. Well, I think I still have some more to wash off from my Flanders, Larry Dallas first 2 rounds.
I don't like how you're phrasing this one.
I did go with Donna
As I write boner down.
as you write Boner down, and I'm going to continue down the road of cleanliness. Now, Rachel Green, again, I know not
Whoa.
everyone's a Friends person, but
It's a
listen,
great pick.
it is a great pick because that's what you did every single week. She was your next door neighbor. I mean, so Joey and Chandler lived next to Monica and Rachel. For anyone who didn't watch Friends, and I know not everyone loves
Yeah.
Friends.
Who's the neighbor in this show, though?
They're neighbors. They're
There's
all. By the
always
way,
in
everyone
their
is a neighbor
apartment.
except for Phoebe, who moved to another building. But they were in New York City, so it's a big neighborhood. But Monica and Rachel lived adjacent to Joey and Chandler, and they said that they would put ice cubes on their nipples before scenes, and they weren't kidding. Like that's what they did. They just fired them up.
Hello.
Every single scene. And that's your neighbor.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding,
the
ding.
turkeys are
Ding,
done.
ding, 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 ding.
Every
Well,
single.
we've taken heed.
We've taken heed. Rachel Green is your neighbor. I think you're gonna be doing just fine. So Rachel Green and Donna. That's a good comeback from Larry and Ned. You get 2.
I'm just gonna go with my list.
Keep pushing your board.
I'm gonna go with the Jeffersons and All in the Family.
Now guess what? You think you get a little bit more Rachel, just a teeny bit more Rachel. But let's just do a little bit of that.
I mean, so good.
They got their spinoff.
So good they got a spinoff, and it
George
wasn't
and
just,
Wheezy.
wasn't just a spinoff.
No.
It was a
It was a banger.
juggernaut.
It was a banger. One
Both
of the
of
greatest.
these shows were colossal hits.
Absolutely.
Like the Jeffersons had neighbors that are on the list in and of themselves.
Agreed.
Mr. What's his face?
The British dude.
The British dude.
Yes.
This is I couldn't agree more. The Jeffersons, you get the Jeffersons. I have them down as the Jeffersons. It's not just George. It's not just Wheezy. You get them both.
And then for my next one, I got to take you got to take the one that you kind of wish you had as your own neighbor.
Okay.
Winnie Cooper.
Okay, so I had her on the list, but she did not get a space.
She didn't get a pick?
She didn't get a space in the pick. Winnie Cooper is absolutely a great... Well, but I had so many... Or I already had Donna and Rachel, and I probably have maybe one more.
I mean, we were essentially in that same age.
Yes. And it was okay to put pictures of her in your basement then.
When it was happening, it was right in that wheelhouse of 6th, 7th, 8th grade, right?
I know, but now I can't put a picture of an 8th grader up there.
No, you can't now.
After he does a whole boner cheer,
the actress,
you can't do it.
As
understood. She's, by the way, she's
Danica
Cooper. Danica McKellar.
Danica McKellar.
A math whiz.
Yeah, she's like
she's
astro.
Genius. She goes on Impractical Jokers every now and then and does little things, and
she's still got it.
Yeah, no, she's gorgeous.
She's doing just fine. Yeah. She's doing just fine. All right, I guess I get to go again. Do I stick?
Yes, you
with my same theme, or do I deviate? So the Jeffersons are gone.
Sorry,
that's okay. I'll tell you what. Let's go back to the board. Get another pick of George and Wheezy. All right, so we still have some obvious ones. I guess I'm just gonna have to go back to what got me here and dance with the girl I brought in terms of
best available, dude.
Larry.
That's what you do in drafts.
There he is, Quagmire.
Yes.
I think he's the best available. I think he was in the green room expecting to get drafted sooner. If we're being honest,
there are several from the show, by the way.
I have them all. I got them all on here.
I couldn't take the whole neighborhood, so I had to choose one, and I had to take my own. But
he's the most Larry-esque.
Look, he's one of your guys.
He's one of my guys.
You and Quagmire.
Kev, you get two.
Well, I appreciate the you can put the Jeffersons. Could you put it back up there briefly for me? Could you with the?
Of course.
Because I'm taking Walona Woods.
Ooh.
Janet Dubois,
nice.
From Good Times. First of all, unless you have her locked and loaded, she's gorgeous.
She was my next best.
She
on
is
the
gorgeous,
list.
and she was
Penny's
available. Mom, and Penny is Janet Jackson, as we all know. And Good Times is just a great freaking show. The reason why I asked you to put the Jeffersons back up there is because Janet Dubois wrote and sang the theme song to the Jeffersons. So nice. She was multi-talented, and she's walking around. That's the person that they wanted Janet Jackson to be around and say, listen, this lady is gorgeous. She's a badass actress. She is professional. She can sing. She can dance. She can act. Go be near her, young lady.
She stole the show when she came on.
And she was spectacular to watch on television. And Walona is my first pick, and I'll go with the slightly less attractive Shanae with my next pick.
Jamie Foxx?
Martin. No. It's Martin Lawrence.
Wow. Didn't even think about that.
What was the character Jamie Foxx played on In Living Color?
I don't know. We can talk about that after I'm done talking about Shanae on Martin. There, because I
don't have it, but I was a Martin guy.
You're a big Brahman guy, and I am too. Brahman was a great character, always sneaking into the crib late night, eating up all Martin's food.
Yep.
Big old country folk. But when Martin Lawrence would slide into Shanae at that time of my life, it was just too much. It was. I couldn't believe it. Like, it wasn't at a time when dudes were actively dressing up like women, and I mean, Jim Carrey had knocked around a little bit.
They'd be canceled today.
And the way Martin did it, and she was when Shanae and Pam would get at it. Oh my God, man!
Pam was
so those are my picks there. I had to go Walona, and Shanae was
nice pick.
Yeah, she had to be taken.
All right, coming back to me, and then you get the last pick, T. So let's see. I'll pick someone.
A whole bunch of honorable mention too.
Let's get rid of the Jeffersons, and we will go with. Well, first, let's just get a little sponsorship. There she is, just Team Mom in the top corner, and we will go with. I do have some high-ranking ones, but there's. I'm going to go old. Do I go old school here? This is my last pick. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to hide from it. Penny from Big Bang Theory.
Great pick. I was not a huge fan of the show.
It was.
I
It
didn't
was
watch
up
it
and
very
down.
much, but
It's a great
I mean,
pick.
she'd be a great.
pick.
If you're going to be a
she'd be a great neighbor.
physicist or super smart, whatever, working out of college, and
Fun
all of
neighbor.
a sudden you get an actress who looks like that right across the hall, and
Were you a
somehow
big fan of that show?
I liked it, but
I
wasn't a
liked
big
it,
fan.
but it's not like my list. It's down my list. But I think it's good.
Yeah,
I don't know if I ever watched an
It's
entire episode.
It was always
start
on.
to-
It's on a lot too on reruns right now.
It's got to be syndicated across the board. 'Cause
Like 10 channels
yeah.
all
like
the
on
time.
TNT. Like
It's
you know.
Chuck Lorre. I
4
mean,
to
he's
6.
he's done tons of stuff. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's as good as you think or whatever. I have tons of shows above it, but I think it makes you laugh, and there's some good characters in it. There aren't neighbors. Wallowitz is a great character. But anyways, you get the last pick.
I'm so.
And by the
torn.
way, Aaron Wood, we're coming right
so
to you.
torn.
You're coming right to you. Aaron Wood is on the board, and he wants to talk
I am.
about
I'm
the
torn.
math that could counsel. But we'll talk about it for a second.
You laughing at me?
It's for you. What
Because
do you
I'm
got?
so torn.
What's the last one? God. Let's see if I got it.
Everything's so funny.
All right.
Penny stays on the screen until you pick somebody.
They weren't great at the end of the show, but
Mm-hmm.
they certainly were great in the beginning. And so I'm going to go with them because I loved watching it.
Can I guess?
We already
Can I
mentioned
guess?
them tonight. They've
All right.
already been mentioned.
All right, go ahead. No, wait. No, we mentioned the show.
No, these two were actually specifically mentioned, and
Okay.
you were a part of that.
Okay. Because there was a show mentioned. Oh,
Lenny and Squeak.
no, but we said Laverne. He said Laverne and Shirley.
I said
thought you
Laverne and
said-
Shirley.
I thought
No,
you said
and that's why I said
I said
foreshadowing.
Ken and Rhett skipped into FedEx Stadium like Laverne and Shirley.
Lenny and Shirley.
Now,
Because I have Lenny
that
Squiggy
leaves Lenny and
right
Squiggy
there.
available for your.
Yeah,
there
so you can
go.
pick them. I
That's
was
who that
going
was.
to predict that you picked Lenny and
Were you
Squiggy
going to? Were you?
100%.
You want to know who I was? I was really torn.
Well, this is where you like to give like 10 answers.
I can't stop looking at Squiggy. He's
I know.
staring right through my soul.
By the way, Michael McKean, I mean, he's obviously a genius.
They were iconic, man, especially in the beginning.
They
got
were.
a little annoying in the
But
end.
the guy on the left, Mike, or our left, I don't know if whoever, Michael McKean, not Squiggy. I don't know who was Lenny, who was Squiggy. Was Lenny?
I always thought Squiggy was the
Squiggy
littler
was the one
guy.
on the right.
Yeah.
yeah.
He
So
had the
Lenny's on the
squiggly
left.
hair. He always had that little squiggly piece
Yeah.
of hair out.
Lenny, Michael McKean turned out to be one of the all-time greats. Obviously, Saturday Night Live, amongst many things. But he had a very, very long career and did some amazing stuff. All right, honorable mention. I get first chance on honorable mention because you had last pick. Honorable mention. We'll go with this guy. Oh, sorry. Oops. That's a.
That was a lost picture.
Yeah. We gave Urkel. It's the others. Lost. I don't know. Are you guys Lost guys?
No, I wasn't. I'm sure it was a great show. It was on the night I bartended.
I was a huge
Understood.
lost guy. I never would have thought of them as neighbors, though.
They were on the island.
That's true.
Terrible.
You're really
na-
caught up on this neighbor thing.
terrible neighbors.
I'm-
If you're gonna share,
Don't let a
Definition
distant
of
neighbor. Don't let a distant neighbor let a good story be untold.
Kevin got a.
I have two that
What do you got?
on my board. You table talked me out of the one. Tanya Roberts, Midge Pinciotti.
Yes, Midge.
Midge was the neighbor. That's the neighbor from the '70s show. That's who I would have picked as my first round draft choice.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Tanya Roberts was a Charlie's Angels girl in the end of her career and was in View to a Kill and was a stone cold stunner at that time, but she left early for some reason.
And a Playboy Playmate,
Yeah, she was.
I believe.
I mean, that's.
I could be wrong, but I think she was.
Cleveland would have been my pick would have been my first neighbor pick.
Yeah, he was on
I
there.
got you. I got you on
Couldn't
that.
take him.
Cleveland.
Let me
is
just say this
right
real quick. It
here.
was always fun on the Cosby Show when Bud and or Peter came on, and they were from the neighborhood. Bud and Peter, the
Great
quiet.
By the
spin-off
way-
show, too.
a great. I'll put the Cosby Show way above Big Bang Theory, but the thing about that is it's like
Yeah.
freaking Bill Cosby ruined it.
Yeah, that's
God
why we.
damn
Don't,
it.
that's why we. Grady Wilson used to come skiing, drink, and play cards with Fred Sanford. Grady was a great neighbor. I think they might have even been cousins. And and that's it. I think I had the Achmonics from Alf due to them being terrible neighbors. Mrs. Achmonic was always all up in their business.
Here, I already showed you.
Hey,
it.
Willie.
Urkel.
You have a
terrible
black
neighbor.
and white one?
Mr. Feeney, by the way, could have been drafted in
Fred
multiple.
And Ethel Mertz.
Yeah, they're on the board right. Top heavy. EO is throwing out Fred.
That's
and Ethel
who
Mertz.
I was torn with Lenny and Squiggy. I didn't know which one to take.
I didn't want to take Marcy Darcy because she annoyed the piss out of me. But she was a great character.
She was a great character, but she wasn't a great neighbor. I mean, she was. By the way, the thing about
what was
her
her husband's name?
Jefferson.
Jefferson was great.
Jefferson was great. Marcy was so terrible. And the thing about the back and forth between her and Al Bundy is that in real life, Ed O'Neill and her, they were bitter enemies. It was probably because of some of the stuff we talked about in the past. Like the Married with Children set was a disgusting, dirty disaster.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So if you had any scruples, you were probably just like, why?
Do you have Squidward or Patrick?
I don't have Squidward or Patrick. I have.
How about Rerun?
I got Marie Barone.
Now I looked that up. He's not a neighbor.
Oh god,
dude, stop with your shit.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You know who is a neighbor?
What are you so worried about?
You know who is a neighbor?
The rules
Skippy.
Skip
From
Handelman.
Family Ties.
Handelman.
Skippy.
Handelman. What was his name?
Here, this is a good one from Greg. Steve Rhodes, who replaced Jefferson Darcy.
Exactly.
The team was a great.
Yes, they both are great.
And both husbands were tormented by Marcy.
Yes,
which
they're
is
both great at it. I
Marcy.
forgot that for a second, but they were both great at it.
They were both great at getting tormented by Darcy. I saw a great thing. So, Greg, please help me out because I know you're the expert and I'm not. Al Bundy started an organization that Marcy then started a counter organization to. And I always forget the exact
men or women against. There's like it was.
Yeah, hers was Fang. Yes. Oh, I remember hers was Fang. It was like females against Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Something. Damn it! I know Greg's gonna Greg is busily typing feverishly the two organizations that were.
Give him a minute. Tell me who Amanda Woodward did she show up on anyone's list?
Amanda
Woodward. I'll give you no other information.
Damn familiar.
I know because it is.
Is that her name on the show?
On the show.
Amanda
Woodward.
Amanda
Woodward. She was a great name.
Damn it! No hints on the show.
It does not take place in the East.
In 90210.
Ooh,
could be the area code.
Beverly Hillbillies.
No.
Damn it. The
Come
OC?
on, guys, this is a big one. This is kind of a big deal. If she moved in next door, even to this day, it would just be a story. And she was still with us. And she still looks great for her age, but she's up there.
What is it, like 90?
No.
Okay.
But it's like
Amanda Woodward.
It's like pushing 70. It's pushing. It's
Baywatch.
You just after the 90210 comment, you're right there.
Not the OC, not 90210. Oh, Melrose. Melrose Place.
And who was she? Amanda Woodward.
Was it Heather?
Yes.
It was Heather Locklear.
That's all. I mean, Heather Locklear from our age, guys. I figure I just throw it out there.
I knew that name.
Here you got Guys and Fang from Greg Martin.
It was feminists against Neanderthal guys. But what was the organization that Al Bundy started? Guys.
GUIS.
Feminists. Oh, sorry. It was feminists against Neanderthal guys.
No, but I think that.
No. Guys wasn't the one that.
It's not. That's what Greg Martin wrote down. That's
that was the
guessing.
G. The G from Fang was guys.
But
he started one that was called like Slap or like Glad.
All right. 1 minute too long. 1 minute.
It was something. It was something amazing. All right. Well, I tell you what. I think we've beat this one up pretty good. Next week. By the way, did Greg come with a?
Kimmy
draft?
Gibbler didn't get a shout out.
Kimmy Gibbler got one on the board, but all right. So
Bentley, you all talked about.
We get to pick. Right? We get to pick between favorite horror characters, least favorite Halloween candy to get on Halloween night in a trick or treat bag, or top horror movies to watch during the Halloween season.
We should definitely do one of the other horror ones and have a little mini quick least favorite. It doesn't have to last all night.
Yep.
We should probably.
It's a great question.
Do the candy one the week of Halloween.
But we've done a candy one before.
The candy one can take 2 seconds. Yeah, the worst will take 2 seconds.
the
We're not going to have
worst-
fun talking about terrible shit.
The worst. Yeah,
You know what's terrible?
Getting beaten 40-20 by the Bears.
Yeah.
That's what's terrible. Let's
All
not.
right.
So wait,
What do you guys like?
Movie or characters? Movie or characters? Horror movie? Horror characters? I'm up for whatever.
Might as well just do the characters, right?
Favorite
I don't know.
horror movie characters?
I think that's a great one.
Sure.
Greg
that's
gets to
great.
pick.
It doesn't have to be
Next me for any movie.
the bad guy.
Was it called No Ma'am? I think it was called No Ma'am.
That's why I just started laughing about. I remembered. I don't understand. I just remember No Man.
It was called No Ma'am.
And I don't.
It was
wanna,
called No Ma'am.
I know. But I like horror characters, and we can drop a quick little. I mean, there's not so many. I like most candy, as
gonna
do
do the
you,
candy one.
as do you.
I know, but I can tell you, I
I know.
I'm not
I
going
have
to spoil
three.
it
I have three
right
right
off
now
the top
that
of my
I
head.
know. And they're
that if someone tries to drop it in my
There's
bag, I'm
so
going to like
many.
this. No, but there's a top.
I know, but it's more fun. It's more fun to do the characters
Because there's some
Characters.
candy that you don't like
Or
that
the
you know you can
movies.
trade. That you know that it's just that you don't like it, but you know other
I
people
know, but
like
it's
it.
historically. It's not from. It's not now. It's
No, no.
us.
I know.
Historically,
That's true.
right?
That's
Yeah.
true. But I mean, but historically, at the end of Halloween night, it was the trading began.
Yeah.
So you know it didn't always
I
line
had
up.
to right away.
But
That
there was
the
some
only
stuff that
time.
I hated that my siblings or friends did
Right.
not hate, and I was able to get some action.
Yeah.
But I think there's some universally hated shit.
I want to say 3 of them right now so bad, and it's killing me.
I know.
I'm not saying.
I'm not going to say it either. I'm not going to say it either.
But I do like horror
National
characters.
Organization
Another draft
of
would be-
Men Against Amazonian Masterhood. No, ma'am. That's what that was.
Yeah, I was hoping we weren't going to reveal that.
Sorry. Came out.
I'm just kidding.
Came out. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Best costumes at some point. Best Halloween costume.
Wait, are we going to do like a parade?
No,
Or-
we're gonna actually.
Oh, I mean, if you're ready for a parade, then absolutely.
you can come up with some
So
funny
Greg
ones.
Martin got to pick this because it's his birthday and all.
No, I'm thinking the future. I'm not stepping on Greg's toes. I'm adding to it.
You're adding to his toes.
Yeah,
You've always been kind of a toe guy.
yeah, sure.
All right, we'll come back next Tuesday night. We'll be talking about toes
No, we won't.
all night long.
Not at all. Mostly Halloween character and bad candy.
And
Hopefully decent football.
a
and
win
W.
over the Atlanta
hopefully.
Falcons.
Well, I mean, at this point, we got Mosley nut kicked a second ago.
Yeah,
We did. More than a second ago.
It was a hog kick. I apologize.
It was a hog.
We all
Thank
got
you.
in our hogs.
Appreciate that. That was a nice thing you've ever said to me, by the way.
And he didn't wear like the square-toed shoe. He wore the.
I think he was a square toe.
Did he wear a square toe?
I mean, I don't know this, but I
thought
think
he just went
so
with
he had like
point.
not the old like wedge.
It
that
wasn't
they
the
used to-
old,
like the block foot, but like
Block
it had
foot.
a little. The very end of it was
Yeah.
like a strip of
without a doubt.
straight because I mean, you don't want like the pointy. It could go any which way. But he didn't. I know what you're talking about. Like they had in the high school football bags. Yes, he didn't have like the block shoe, like
Correct.
the orthopedic special. Sort of
Which
looks
is,
like.
by the way, just be like I could swing a brick at a ball and hope for the best. like what are we doing? What are we talking about?
It was so
Are you
old school.
calling Rick Dempsey out right now?
I'm calling all. I mean, all.
Well,
like,
all
hopefully
that
not,
half a foot?
because he played catcher for the O's. But I think
Jack Dempsey.
yeah.
he used to dive into home during rainouts.
get-
He was
On the slip and slide. He would dive
the
on
World
on
Series MVP of the 1983 series.
the slip and slide master.
I love it. I love it. This is how it ended. He was the slip and slide master.
He was slip and slide master.
They should call it Dempsey, but they don't.
What we do.
And we will.
He's Tim Strachan.
I think I am. And I think I'll be here next week. Hopefully, as you said, talking about some lighter
Not toes
football
though.
moments. No toes.
He's Kevin Ricca.
Yes. Not toes
Toes.
at all. No toes.
No toes.
Just whatever Greg Martin wants. No toes.
Even if he wants toes.
Hey,
No toes.
muff cake, candles. We got to find out how old Greg Martin's turning.
I'm guessing by this nature of his comments, I'm thinking this is like 81 or 82 for him, at least in his early 80s. I'm guessing just by the overall nature of his.
That's not very nice.
Well, okay. How about late 70s?
It's his birthday.
Late
It's his
70s.
birthday. I thought-
He
Did
can
you
appreciate.
just call him an octogenarian?
Sheesh.
Maybe I don't even know what that means. I thought we were talking about sitcoms and candy,
That's going. Yeah.
but he appreciates it.
Happy 30th, Greg.
What are you trying? What's going on here? I don't even know
Muff
what's happening
cake's a
here.
thing, guys. Just telling you, muff cake's now a
Muff
thing.
cake
thing.
is out there. All right.
So I'm gonna have to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be delicious.
Yeah. No, we will all eat it. 1 second too long, T. 1 second too long. It's your fault.
Can I add Ken himself as a character for the horror movies and what he just did to me?
/ worst neighbor.
How he looked at it was the most frightening thing
By
I've
the
ever
way,
seen. Oh, we'll eat it.
Honorable mention, great neighbor, Red Donnelly.
I'm
How about
scarred
that?
for life.
There you go, Rhett.
Red gets an honorable mention for great neighbor.
Brett got fired.
But not as a neighbor.
We didn't.
You got
We
honored.
figured out we couldn't fire him. He actually owns this whole place. Apparently, we had no idea. We'll be back in 7 days. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This was, thank God, it's Tuesday. We are still live. Let's go back to that. In the year 1 AD. Go backwards.
Space Odyssey music, please.
I'll give you this. How about, I don't have Space Odyssey, and now no one can give us a hard time about how, like, the music blocking us. How about this one? This is from E.O. Anderson's Arsenal. That's what we're going to go out on tonight. I don't even know what this is.
Sounds a little office-ish.
Just give it a
This
chance.
could be inspiring.
Who knows? This is about beating the Atlanta Falcons. Muff-a-ween.
I'm reading the board.
Muff Barrel on Muff Street. Drums come in. A little whimsical. A little whimsy at the backside. EO, did you tickle these ivories yourself? Can you even hear me? Oh no. All right, we're calling it. Oh, we got an extra thumbs up just because of the music. I don't know who that was.
It might have
from.
been Muffaween, to be honest.
It could have been Muffaween. Fair enough. Can I give us a thumbs up?
Say fair muff.
Fair enough. It's like Super Troopers. He's like, have a good day, meow. Let's do one more. Bam. All right. See you next week, boys.
Are we done?